Right, I was trying to remember what I did in Outagamie when I applied for a public defender. I know I got denied, okay, and I'm sure that I had to go and pick up a form at the courthouse in Appleton, and that was the Outagamie arrest in the summertime. The thing is, I forget the exact month. It was last year. It happened after May, and it ended. It was resolved a lot faster than the West Milwaukee case. It ended in 2 weeks. So I was pretty impressed by that. So there's a stark contrast. I mean, the charge was different. Being in a public park, dismissal was 7 months ago. The arrest was 8 months ago. June, all right, and it was May 25th. So it was almost a month later. It was a camping ordinance. It was an ordinance by the sheriff, and it was a camping ordinance in June, and I was fighting it through July, and then it was dismissed by the prosecutor. It wasn't a city prosecutor. I think it was a DA, a district attorney. So we're talking about a different role with this situation. Somebody who may not be in a position where they're trying to maximize profits like a city attorney is, like the Chris Schultz's in West Milwaukee. So the clerks are saying for Milwaukee County, because for transferring my case to the circuit court, if I want to apply for indigency, paupership, just the free stuff, I have to fill out a form in person at the courthouse. And you know, I think I'll buy time for that. Okay, I'll try to wait until the last minute to submit my I got to the 24th to notify the West Milwaukee municipal court that I'm appealing it, and then that'll buy me a little bit of time, and then there'll be time to get a case number, and that might take a couple of weeks. I think it even said as part of the rules it takes a couple of weeks, and then after that, then I go through the rest of the process. So I'll be buying time to get up there, because I mean, once again, it's looking like a case where I'm going to need to be there for possibly months and months, going back and forth, hearing after hearing, just like, well, like in Louisiana. But with my experience in Appleton or Outagamie County, I didn't even attend a single hearing. It was just kind of me submitting several motions, and then on the day before the first hearing, it was dropped by the prosecutor. We've gone back and forth a lot over emails. Well, actually not a lot. It's been more me submitting and not getting responses with West Milwaukee. But that was with municipal courts. Chris Schultz may not have felt it necessary to respond to my motions, my bill of particulars, my motion to dismiss. The judge just ignored those, and the prosecutor ignored those. The judge just kind of said, I submitted the motion. She put it on the record saying that I did, and she said, denied. Didn't even want to hear any arguments. Didn't even care if the prosecutor responded or not. So it's a little less formal on the municipal level. And I guess I could have avoided that entirely. I easily avoided it entirely when I was in North Dakota, Williston, North Dakota, when I got arrested for resisting arrest. I skipped out of the city court pretty quickly. They even had a form that you sign. You just check off, do you want to go to the district court? And I was like, yep, I don't want to have that judge or either of those judges. Forget their names. Xander, one of them was Xander, the female. And I got out of city court, but that wasn't without first getting a second arrest while in court, having these two cops snickering behind me and waiting until the court was done with me. And as I was walking out, they arrested me again and charged me. I was charged again. I had a second charge. What was that for? Wow, it was in 2020. Resisting arrest was the original, and then I can't even remember. It was a second charge of some kind. I had to bail out a second time. I bailed out twice. I spent like $600 in bail money there. But I got to go into the district courts and qualify for a public or a court-appointed attorney with the district judge, Judge Roosted. But yeah, things are a little different with Wisconsin. Wisconsin's like in between. Like in Natchitoches, Louisiana, I'm stuck with a city judge, and I have no options. In Wisconsin, I go through the city judge, and then after it's done, ask for a retrial, and then I can kind of, it's not a district judge, it is a circuit court judge, but it's just so weird. Like, you know, North Dakota, it's skip out of the city courts. In Louisiana, you're stuck with city courts, and they could jail you for stupid, the lowest things. They got such a low responsibility, but given such great power with this low responsibility, and they abuse it. In Wisconsin, they abuse it, but they're given a little bit less power. But and it's a little bit harder to skip out of the city courts with Wisconsin. But I go through it. I went through it with the trial and all of that. I could have skipped out on it, but I had like, I only had like, I think they said 10 days after the arrest, and now I have 20 days after the trial, and the municipal judge gave me the form to sign, to fill out the next day, and I'm sitting on it right now. And I'm less confused about payments with what's going on with that now that I've called around to, like, how many people? 10 different people asking about it. I don't think that I need to pay immediately upon also electing to ask for a jury trial and all that, because I've now heard it from several people that I need a case number first, and that takes some time. So I think there's a buffer period there, a buffer zone between electing to go have a second trial with a jury, and then give a couple of weeks, pay attention, maybe, I don't know, make calls asking if I have a case number yet, and as soon as I get a case number, then I can go through the process of doing the payment system and all of that, and then filing motions, which I'm thinking they're going to give me a hard time about that. They were giving me a hard time in Outagamie, I was writing my motions out with pen and paper, just like I had to do in Natchitoches as well, because the judges want to make it harder on me. So I want to buy time as much as I can to get up to Milwaukee, find the place, and I mean, we're talking a big city. I'm gonna have a difficult time finding safe places to park overnight in that area. I mean, Appleton was a little bit easier to get along with for those 2 weeks driving back and forth. I parked a mile and a half away from the courthouse and was just bicycling in because the parking was horrible. You don't park next to the courthouse. And it seems bad in every city. You don't want to park next to the courthouse. So yeah, there's things to plan for Milwaukee, because I mean, I think, and based on my experience, I'll be making multiple daily trips to the courthouse to make filings and look at the computer they actually have computers, unlike Michigan. North Dakota has computers. Louisiana kind of has computers, not for city court though. So it's varied. I could actually do legal research on the computers in North Dakota, but you're not able to in Wisconsin. You're only able to look at cases. So I mean, there's different restrictions and all of that. But as AI gets better, I'm just relying on AI more, and making. I mean, it's not hard to make arguments now with AI, and now with the new 4.5 that's come out, it looks like I'm limited to what, 25 or 50 queries every 2 weeks. I got to get the exact numbers for that. They don't exactly say, but I got a warning because I was using 4.5 a lot today, just responding to the trolls, and I was getting notified of potential limits approaching the limit and the resets in a few days type of thing. But yeah, I'm thinking about, you know, Outagamie. That's my best comparison to West Milwaukee right now. But Outagamie, I was not in a municipal court. I think that was district with the sheriff department. If it was the sheriffs that stopped in the Target parking lot to give me a hard time, then I would have gone straight to the circuit court, I'm sure, because they even said, the clerks even said, they deal directly with sheriffs. But it was a city, because they want to keep it, you know, under the table type of thing. They'll arrest for the smallest of things. And this time I got to make sure to subpoena both cops. I didn't subpoena either one. And do things. We're going to do things a little different with this time around. You know, learning what the prosecutor wants to do. I'll prepare for him, and then try to learn who my potential judge can be. But I'll go through the process. I'm heading back north, so I guess Milwaukee's going to be on my trajectory now.